What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got another lovely Transformers character card to be talking about. It's one of the Rescue Patrol. It's Private Fixit. Now, I remember this was revealed by Jamie Madison of Powered by Primus. I got the image from the official Facebook group, but I do like to try and credit where possible. So, yay! And this is a Micromaster, and I usually don't get terribly excited about Micromasters, but I might have to make an exception about this one. This one looks really good. Now, it is a 4-star, right? It's Private Fixit, 4-star character. It is meh. They're cheap. They're 4 or 5 stars, right? And the stats back that up. Attack of 3, health of 6, defense of 1 or 0. It's not exactly making me go, wow, right off the bat, because it's not particularly great. And in ult mode, it's got the skill we expect from Micromasters. This has stealth while untapped. Okay. And we expect them to have stealth while untapped. This is what the Micromasters do. This is what the Micromasters are. It means that if your opponent has other targets, they cannot be attacked. Now, this is actually incredibly important, because if you go second, your opponent cannot play any actions, etc. turn 1, but they can attack. And if you don't have stealth, your opponent has a free choice of who they want to attack. So they can go, oh, Private Fixit, no, don't like that. And as long as they can do like 6 damage, because bearing in mind it's got a defense of 0 in ult mode, if they can get up to an attack of 6, which isn't that difficult, they'll be able to just get a straight KO. And then you never get Fixit. This is why the Micromasters have stealth in ult mode, because they have to be able to protect themselves. They have to be able to go, you know what, leave us alone. Just for a turn, leave us alone, give us a minute to get rolling. But then when they get rolling, hopefully we're looking a lot better. In bot mode, it has got a really nice skill. Scrap a white icon card from your hand, each player scraps a hand and draws 4 cards. Now, these Micromasters have skills which are all based around cards, battle cards, that have the icon of the card that you need to scrap. You need to scrap a white icon card to make both players scrap the hand and draw 4 cards. Oh look, System Reboot. White icon card, each player scraps a hand and draws 4 cards. And there are several reasons why this might be a very good thing. First and foremost, draw power. Simple as that. It is a tap skill, which means it doesn't take your attack for the turn, it doesn't take your action for the turn, doesn't take your upgrade for the turn, and yet you still end up drawing cards. It might be that you're digging for a power sword, because if you can just grab a power sword, you're going to be able to get bold enough and big enough and attack for enough that you're able to then go and get a KO, but you're not getting a KO as it is. So you tap Fixit, scrap any card of a white icon from your hand, you scrap your hand, you draw 4 cards, you draw the power sword, you attach it, yay! And then you're rolling. That's the hope here, ladies and gentlemen. That's the goal. But it also works as disruption. So in Wave 2, we started getting cards like Attack Drone, whereby when you play one, you can immediately play another, and up to 3 can fit in the weapon slot. So what you might, and of course they've got green icons, so you know if your opponent's got this card, that's very key. Because when they're flipping to attack or defend, they can at the end of their turn swap a card in their hand for the attack drone they flipped while attacking or defending. So let's say they've got 2 in hand, and you know they've got 2 in hand because they've used the green icon to get at least one of them. Well, then you play this. And then even if you don't actually do it, there's always a threat of doing it. So your opponent might have 2 of these in hand, and they go, well, we really want to play all 3 at once, but our opponent might use Fixit, force us to discard the 2, and then we're only playing 1. And of course, the reason you don't just want to attach 1 a turn is because that's your upgrade attachment for 3 turns in a row. Whereas if you can get all 3 in hand, you can attach 3 upgrades, but you're only using your attachment for 1 turn. That makes a big deal. That's a great way to make your resources more efficient. But you can stop your opponent doing this. And that's kind of wonderful. I mean, it's not seeing very much play at all, honestly. But this would be hilarious against Bombshell. Because one of the things, well, really the main thing that makes Bombshell exciting, in bot mode, when you attack, you may scrap cards from your hand equal to the number of stars on the defender. If you do, instant KO. So if your opponent's building up a big hand size to try and KO a big character, let's say they're trying to get 10 cards in hand to KO a Grimlock, just use this, put them down from, say, 8 cards in hand to 4 cards in hand, and then they're miles away again. Things like that are really good. But there are more fun uses. And I know I'm not the only one that's come up with this. Decepticon Shockwave. Wave 1 Shockwave. I adore Wave 1 Shockwave. It's got a phenomenal skill in bot mode. When a card is scrapped from your opponent's hand, your opponent chooses one of their characters and does 1 damage to it. Well, here, you're making your opponent scrap their entire hand. So if they've got 4 cards in hand, they scrap 4 cards, and it's 4 separate instances. So they have to, 4 times, choose one of their characters and put 1 damage on it. But maybe they've got a hand of 6 cards or 7 cards. Maybe you're against Bombshell and you've got Shockwave. It's not going to be very often, right, that this actually happens, but it's possible, gosh darn it. And that fills my heart with joy. Or maybe your opponent goes, well, I'm not going to let you do this. I'm going to deliberately keep a small hand size to stop you. Brilliant. Do it. Go ahead. Because if you're deliberately keeping a small hand size to stop me doing damage to you, well, you're hurting yourself. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face, as the expression goes. And I am totally okay with this. And, of course, you can play this with System Reboot. So use your tap skill for the turn to make your opponent scrap their hand and draw a new hand of 4. Then play System Reboot, assuming you drew it off of this, to do it all over again. And then they definitely do take 4 damage because they've definitely got a hand of 4 cards. That's what's so cool about this. Or maybe you play Testify as your action for the turn. Each player draws 2 cards. Then you use Fixit so your opponent ends up scrapping their hand, but with 2 extra cards to take 2 extra damage. There is a lot of fun that can be had with Private Fixit. But it's also a rescue patrol. And we've seen other rescue patrol. We've seen Private Red Heat and Private Stakeout. We don't need to worry about the ult mode. They've got Safeguard while untapped. We get it. But Private Stakeout, you tap it and scrap a white icon card from your hand, flip one of your characters to its other mode. It is the tap skill version of Rapid Conversion. And then Private Red Heat, scrap a white icon card from your hand, choose 2 of your characters and swap all of their upgrades. Incidentally, that is swap parts, which has been banned. So what we might want to do here is start playing a really white deck with lots of white icons, and then just play all 3 of the Rescue Patrol using all of their tap skills. Now, Red Heat is a 5 cost, and Stakeout is a 4 cost, and this is a 4 cost, so that would essentially give you 14 stars. You'd still have 11 stars to play with. Shockwave. Just putting it out there. Would totally work. Go on. I don't know if it's going to be an amazing deck, but that certainly is one that I'm looking to start playing around with. That just looks like a lot of fun to me, if I'm honest with you. So that could work. And of course, the other thing to point out is, like the other 2, Private Fixit is a specialist. Which means that you've got multi-mission gear, which can be used to play extra actions. You attach it, you get +1 defense, you can play an action. And multi-tool, which gives you +1 attack and lets you play an extra upgrade. And my favourite of them, Field Communicator, which also happens to have a white icon, which means it could be scrapped to use the tap skills of any of these bots. That just plays the top card of your deck regardless of what it is. And let's not forget that you can then use Private Red Heat to swap them. And yes, when you swap them, you do get to use the when you attach them or when you play them skills. And you've got the makings of a fun little deck here. And what I really like, and now there are 4 when we're looking at the off-road patrol, so there might be a 4th rescue patrol that we haven't seen yet. We'll have to wait and see as the reveals keep coming. But as it stands, we're talking about 11 stars left over from 14 stars worth of bots. That's going to give you some fun options. There's a lot you can still play around with. You can play a big character along with these three little ones. Something to think about. I like this character. I like the idea of Rescue Patrol with Shockwave. But I'd like to know what you're thinking, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk about Transformers and other games. And do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel and get bonus pods and all manner of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.